Well, hello and welcome to the Reformed Review. I'm Pastor Kevin O'Connor from Oak Grove Baptist Church, and I am still going through the books on my shelf. We're going through the hardback Bibles that I have. I do have an announcement. I am going to be getting my very first Bible rebind in the mail in just a few days. So I wanted to make that announcement very quickly so that you know to be looking for that video. But today I am reviewing the new Oxford Annotated Bible with the Apocrypha. This is in the Revised Standard Version. It is an ecumenical study Bible. That's the claim. And I would agree that they are attempting to be very ecumenical. This is not an original to me. This is a 1973 printing of this Bible. It is cloth overboard. It's a light brown. It's still in pretty good shape. Somebody took pretty good care of it. It even came with a ribbon marker with the 10 Commandments on it when I got it. So that was pretty interesting when I got this Bible. I've had it for, 8 or 9 years. I pull it off the shelf occasionally when I want to refresh myself on, the RSV or even the preface to the Pentateuch. They have a pretty good preface to this Bible. What is the Pentateuch? I mainly got it because I actually liked the way that they spelled out the Apocrypha, what the apocryphal texts are. It also has in the back a library forms of the gospel. You have a survey of the Bible lands, kingdoms. There's quite a bit of study material in this Bible in between the book of Revelation and the Apocrypha itself. There is quite a bit of study material. English versions of the Bible, which is very helpful. There's pages actually for notes, which Oxford was, pretty kind to put those pages in there. And it doesn't seem that the person that owned this Bible before took advantage of those note pages. But after you get all the study material after the book of Revelation, then you get to the Apocrypha and the preface to the Apocrypha in this Bible. It is a hardback. Like I said, I'm reviewing the hardbacks on my shelf. I have several RSVs that I've reviewed on this channel. I tend to read them more. This is kind of a study Bible in that it has some study material after the book of Revelation. It has a pretty good explanation of Old Testament books and the Pentateuch before Genesis. It has intertestamental material talking about the New Testament. That's pretty short. The material after the book of Revelation is pretty long, an explanation of English Bibles and things like that. And then the explanation of the Apocrypha. I'm not sure if I remember. Yeah, this does not have any maps it does. Yes, it does. They're old school maps too. They're very little color in those maps. I actually like that. And they're kind of topographical. You can see the terrain pretty well because they're using a limited color scheme and they're using lights and darks pretty well in these maps. The other thing that I like is most of the maps are all sideways where you're looking at the whole Holy Land in these maps. Now, I know I'm not doing justice to this Bible by flipping through it without you being able to see, okay? And I realize that You can see that this Bible is pretty old. I mean, it's got some yellowing of the page edges, but the binding is good. Let's see, just a teeny tiny bit of separation on that headband right there from the block, but that's not bad for as old as it is. And obviously it's a hardback, so you've got a flat spine right there. But I do enjoy this Bible when I do get it out. I kind of use it like a textbook. I don't read it through and through. Don't study with it. I kind of use it like a textbook when I'm wanting to quickly grab a Bible to look either at what the RSV says, or if this annotated Bible may have an annotation on certain things that I'm studying at the time. What I will say is that this is not a study Bible in the sense that you get notes on every verse, and they're not thorough notes on everything. It's really difficult passages or concepts, theological points that need to be discussed. Just for an instance, we're in First Chronicles 9, okay? This is the descendants of Ephraim and Asher and the descendants of Benjamin. It gives you a note on the descendants of Benjamin. Benjamin was given special treatment because Jerusalem belonged to traditionally to this tribe, and perhaps because it came from Saul, who, through dislike by the chronicler, was nevertheless the first king of Israel and preceded David. Okay, they're just giving you short information about certain things in the Bible, hence the term annotated. They're just short annotations. They're not definitive, explanations. Excuse me, I'm still suffering through my allergies, but the annotations sometimes are pretty helpful and sometimes pretty revealing, and I actually enjoy reading from this text block. It's a black letter text. What I do like is it's double columned. It's pretty big font, and it is set up kind of interestingly, that the beginning of paragraphs have larger verse numbers, and then when you have a paragraph that's pretty long, all the verse numbers that follow that in the paragraph itself are a little smaller, and then the chapter numbers are pretty large. I want to show you just a quick example. Let me see if I can get myself to focus. Oh, right here. So here is the chapter number, okay, chapter 23, and you'll see, at least in this paragraph, you'll see how the paragraph starts with a large 15. But then when you read through, you'll find the smaller numbers in there, and those are the paragraph verses. When they're in the paragraph, they're smaller, so you can tell where the paragraph is beginning, as if you couldn't tell, because the sentence structure changes from the paragraph and it's indented. But, they're trying to help you out visually to keep your eye going through the text. So that's pretty helpful. I do like, I haven't ran into a whole lot that I disagree with. I will say that obviously, coming from Oxford, at the time that it's coming from Oxford, they hold to a long history of the Pentateuch and the Old Testament, that even the Pentateuch itself was developed over generations by multiple authors only ascribed to Moses. Obviously, I don't agree with that. I don't think that is exactly what happened. I think that there's a good evidence to the contrary of that. Biblical evidence, we could talk from internal evidence, New Testament evidence, witnesses of Christ, understanding that Moses wrote those things. But we're not going to get into that argument. I do like the Psalms and the poetic sections and how they are laid out. The way this is laid out is very, very readable. It looks good. Your eyes follow through really well in the poetic sections, and every bit of it, even the prophets are set up in this poetic type setting. Okay, and that's kind of helpful. And then you kind of go back to, because they're all verse by verse, even in the prophets, for the most part, is verse by verse. When you get into Ezekiel, it's less so. You have more of a paragraph format. Amos is verse by verse. Not sure how they decided which ones to go verse by verse in, but it was interesting for me to read through this and see where it was done, where they did do it, the verse by verse kind of poetic sections where it was done. It looks really nice, and I like it. I like it honestly better than I like the paragraph format because of the typeface that they're using. Not that the typeface that they're using is terrible. Like I said, I do enjoy it, especially how they have the larger letters beginning, or larger numbers beginning the paragraphs. But it looks bunched together to my old eyes, and I really enjoy how the poetic sections, at least, and I want to show you this again, how it doesn't look quite as bunched together when it's the verse by verse, and it's kind of separate, and it's easier for my eyes to follow along when it's not bunched together really tightly. Overall, I enjoy getting this book off the shelf when I get it off the shelf. I don't use this Bible, like I said, a ton, because I have I have an RSV, two RSVs, one from the 60s and one from the 70s, and those are just small, compact, genuine leather. They're easy to carry around. This is a bigger Bible, okay? I mean, it's probably 8-9 inches by 5 inches, and it's 2 inches thick. It's a big Bible, and it isn't something that I want to carry around. It's textbook size, and I just treat it like a textbook when I do get it off of the shelf. It sits on the shelf with my other hardbacks over there that also get treated like textbooks a lot of times, because I've either gotten them given to me, or I purchased them, or got them from a yard sale, and I was like, oh, that hardback will make a good addition to my library if I need to look things up. And the annotated sections of this is helpful. The apocryphal explanation, the deuterocanonical explanation that I don't agree with is in here, and it's always good to know what other people believe and not... I try to understand exactly what they're saying when I disagree with them. So it's helpful to have it in their own words. So anyway, you may agree with the Pentateuch being established over a period of time and subsequent generations, and Moses not being the author of the entire Pentateuch. You might agree with that, but I, however, only agree that Moses probably wrote everything till he died. Okay, that's my opinion. But anyway, there it is, and they still sell these Bibles. By the way, they don't look like this anymore. They have a better cover, and they've got nice red. I think it's a paper sleeve that goes over them. But you can buy them from Oxford University Press still. This one was actually printed in the United States and not in the United Kingdom. I found that really interesting, that it was printed over here in the States, in New York. So that was pretty neat. I didn't think I'd ever owned an Oxford that was actually printed in the United States, but I guess I do, and hadn't realized it. So It is a good Bible. There's nothing wrong with any of the content. I wouldn't say to steer away from it. I think if you want to be a good student of the Bible, this is a good Bible to get and to have in your collection to read. The annotations are most of the time very that they want to be ecumenical. Okay, so if you're looking for a Bible that's going to give you notes that are going to support your position, generally you're not going to find that this supports one position over another. It's the goal of this Bible was to be ecumenical. Okay, and that has pros and cons to it, depending on how you're looking at that. But it's a pretty even-handed, middle-of-the-road Bible as far as the annotations go, and it's worth, I don't know, they charge like $30 or $40 for these, and it's worth every bit of the $30 or $40 to have one in your library. Okay, so if you're like me and you get them just to have the information, the extra information that's in them besides the text of the Bible itself, which I do like the RSV translation. It's not a bad translation. I enjoy reading from it. As a matter of fact, really enjoyed last year when I was reading through the book of Job in my, I guess it's hand-sized RSV from the 1970s. So if you don't have a new Oxford Annotated Bible, I encourage you to get one, add it to your collection, add it to your library so that you have more resources to pull from. Until next time, keep reading your Bible, and God bless you.